Alright, here's another video for 2HT and 2VT about exercise 27. It says look at the three candles below. So those are these three candles over here. And then question A says measure how many times as tall candle B is as candle A and how many times as wide. So what you should do is have a geometrical triangle, so hopefully you have one, and then we have to measure how tall candle A is. Now you can see here it's going to be 2 centimeters tall. And candle B is 3.4 centimeters tall. See that? 3.4. So how many times as tall is candle B as candle A? If you want to calculate how many times as tall that is, we can calculate it by doing one length, that was 3.4, divided by the other one, which was 2, and then it says it's 1.7 times as tall. Yeah. We also need to do that for the width. So then we measure this width, which is 1, and then we measure this width, which is 1.7. So the width is also 1.7 times as wide. That's because B is an enlargement of A. So all the lengths are all the same times as wide. So that was question A. Question B says candle B is an enlargement of candle A. Write down the scale factor. Now this is 1.7 times as big, so the scale factor is 1 to 1.7, right? Because this is 1.7 times as big. Question C, this works the same as question A and B. Now it says candle C is an enlargement of candle A. Measure what the scale factor is. So you can choose. You can either measure the length of C or you can measure the width of C. That doesn't really matter. You can choose whatever you want. I'm going to measure the length. Candle C is 4 centimeters tall. Candle A was 2 centimeters tall. So candle C is twice as big. Now we can always check our answer by checking if the width is also the same scale factor. You can see that C is 2 centimeters long while A is 1 centimeter long. So also here, indeed, the width is twice as big. So the scale factor, if you go from here to there, is 1 to 2, right? Remember you write it down like that, so you use this symbol, but then you have 1 and then that symbol and then 2 here if you go from A to C. So this is how that works. Let me tell you something about the next exercise also, because the next one that you have to do is 28. Here we have a figure of a dinosaur. It's a, I'm not going to pronounce this word because I probably do it wrong, but it's a dinosaur that lived approximately 100 million years ago. Now last night there was Jurassic World was on TV. I don't know if you've seen that, but I saw a couple of these running around. So anyway, here you have this dinosaur and that dinosaur. You need to calculate the scale factor. So what you need to do is find anything that you want to measure. It doesn't really matter what. You can measure the length of the head or the width of the head or just the length of the upper jaw. It does not matter as long as you measure the same thing in both figures. Now the last thing I said was the length of the upper jaw. That's actually a nice length to measure because it's just straight. So I'm going to measure that, and then here I see it's 7 millimeters. Now you can be off a little bit because it's very hard to measure it exactly, but I had 7 millimeters. If you had something else, well, I'm sure you had something else then. And then if I measure it here, the length of the upper jaw, I get 2.8. 2.8. So this is 7 millimeters and this is 28 millimeters. So the scale factor, then I do the biggest one, so 28 divided by 7, well that's exactly 4 in my case. So the scale factor here is 1 to 4. Now it could be that when you measure something else, I mean because millimeters are, this picture is very small and the millimeter is quite big, so it could be that you have not 1 to 4 but like 1 to 4.5 or so, something like that. Okay. Now we need to calculate the height of the dinosaur in the enlargement. Now we only see the head here and we want to know how big is the whole dinosaur. So we have to measure this height over here. Here we see that this height is 2.7. So if I do that times 4, I know the height of the dinosaur here. Alright. So this is how that works. Hopefully it's clear to everyone. If not, you can still read this. Here they say how to calculate scale factors. Here's another example, and here is another example. And if you have another question, well, feel free to contact me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.